I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
The Institute created that synth, so the Institute is responsible for what it does.
I disagree. A synth is no more inherently evil than a handgun. When a man dies by gunshot, is the weapon's maker blamed? Of course not. The blame rightly falls on he who pulled the trigger. Yes, we created the synth. But whether they intended to or not, the Railroad's agents turned it into a killer. But enough about that. The task is done. And you've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
Terminal somewhere. Security's too good.
It's my responsibility to make sure this place runs smoothly.
My apologies, sir.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
So you're father's father, but he's older than you. That's weird.
Hey, sweetie.
Hello.
Synths aren't human beings, but supposedly they're the future of humanity. I'll never understand it.
Your quarters are just inside, sir. When you're finished here, sir, Father wants to see you.
good to see you.
Huh?
Unit X688 speaks highly of your progress.
Ah, hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
After everything I've been through to find you, I think you already know.
I'm sorry, Father. Of course. You're right. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. They no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
What happened? What have they done?
They are in possession of technology that does not belong to them. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
I'm not sure why you'd bother.
Aside from taking back our property, we must teach them a lesson, as it were, and quickly at that. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
Of course, sir. We'll be waiting for you outside Bunker Hill. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small.
Sean.
Bunker Hill must be dealt with, if for no other reason than to make a point. I trust you'll resolve the situation at Bunker Hill quickly and quietly.
X4.
I've been waiting for you.
So, what's our situation?
I assume you've been briefed? Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach. We move in, secure the synths, and I relay out with them back to the Institute. Clear? The mission's parameters just changed. We go in shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Only opens with a key. No way to pick this. Taking fire! Leave no survivors.
I survived everything the well severed thread.
Bunker Hill is on!
Institute protocol eliminating hostile.
Studying physical engineering is something, I suppose. I didn't know that
Your attack cannot be tolerated.
One day I'd like to not get shot at.
Get up!
Sustaining.
Get up! You get me!
you're dangerous. Combat is a quite vigorous exercise.
Fucking kill! You there, Synth.
Come on, please. Just don't.
Why are you so afraid?
I don't want to go back. Please, don't make me go back.
Relax. You're free to go.
Really?
Here they are.
God, it's a courser.
Oh no.
Issue the reset codes and we'll relay back to the Institute. Time is critical. I cannot allow you to set these synths free. You will be terminated and your actions will be reported.
I believe the term is Yahoo.
Thank you for sparing us.
Excuse me.
We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
I believe we're supposed to file a police report, yes? And all the little things going back to the records.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
They left me on ice. For 60 years.
They did. And for good reason. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended.
Sure.
An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man would the Commonwealth corrupt you. Perhaps most curious to me, would you?
That's all this is to you?
No, that's not all. Soon, I hope.
Right.
A future which I hope Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain?
We got our asses kicked. Does it matter how?
The chances of failing this mission were so astronomical. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the and to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this. They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. But
sure.
I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak. It's important. Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Excuse me, but, sir, are you sure this is, well, the proper time to be discussing that? Considering, given all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
What's Phase 3?
It's very important to us. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
No!
Please,
Can't be serious!
Everyone, please, I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
Safety first. Remember that.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
Sean, I don't want to run this place.
Are you so sure? You seem to have a natural talent for leading by example, getting things done. This will suit you. And I think there's no question that some of the directorate... That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. There are hard decisions ahead.
All maintenance requests should be directed to the Facilities Division.
Synth Unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB last night. Anything you'd like to report?
Nothing to report, sir. I carried out my duties, as usual.
Dr. Ao saw you accessing a terminal. You know you are not permitted to access terminals in that section. Is Dr. Ao mistaken?
Yes. I mean, no, he's not. But I was only...
What is it? Were you or weren't you accessing a terminal in SRB?
I was, but I swear it's not what it sounds like. I was cleaning the terminal, and it switched on by mistake. I was just shutting it down.
Was that a stutter? Have you developed a defect, Unit? Maybe you need to be reset.
Sir, I assure you that won't be necessary. It won't happen again.
See that it doesn't. You don't want me to tell you twice. Now get back to your duties.
It must make you proud to see all that Father has done, all that he has built.
Sometimes I hide my dad's work notes just to mess with him. It drives me crazy.
Scanning. Unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on... You're going to the mass...
What's a really...
The details would be lost on you. You just keep me safe.
Sounds good. I'd appreciate...
Not as much as I'd appreciate, but here we are. Not to put more pressure. We don't want them getting... Head on up to the relay.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
sure is here. Guess we'll have to go through them.
Ah! Found you!
Can't hide from us.
Search the area.
Not... Oh, no.
Elder Maxon!
Hacking this is beyond me.
Contact lost.
Dr. Fillmore,
This wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
can't break the code. Allie,
Let's hope the Brotherhood hasn't beaten us to the agitator.
security's too tight.
Calm down, Noel.
Don't tell me to
give
calm
me that
down,
high and mighty
Carl.
attitude.
When we
Won't be able
started
to hack
designing the
this.
beryllium
Okay,
heavy
that's
flamer,
enough.
you said
Since
it would
when
be for the benefit of
science start
mankind.
taking
sides.
Like it or not, when the testing cycle is completed, I'm crating up the agitator and sending it off to Washington. Now, you have two choices. Either you can get back to work, or you can get the hell out of my building.
No way I'm cracking this. Allie,
This wasn't really what I planned on doing today. This wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
we see the old State House? Maybe they have the tourist brochure.
Intruder alert! I'm hit! Can't move! Damn it! Catch me! Damn it! Oh no! Taking for Elden!
Target located.